It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I would like to thank each one of our listeners that have tuned in live today and the ones that will be listening to the podcast. I am just very, very grateful for each one of you. And you are all in for a real treat today because I am super excited to have with me a brand new diva, Abby Stempert. And she is an author in our upcoming Divas book, Animal Prints on My Soul. And I am just thrilled to have her today. Abby, would you please introduce yourself to our listeners today and tell our listeners just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Abby, and I am the oldest of my family, and I grew up on a sixth-generation farm in Southwest Kansas.
Oh, wow. That's incredible alone, growing up on a sixth-generation farm. I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
That holds so many memories and so many meanings to you. That is just awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
well,
so do I.
Oh, I bet you do. I can tell. You sound like you are very, very enthused about being on a sixth-generation farm. That is awesome.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I can't wait to talk about my kids being the seventh.
Oh, that's exciting. Wow. That is a beautiful goal. I love that. What a goal. Well, could you tell our listeners today just a little bit about the story that you have in Animal Prints on My Soul?
Sure. My story is called Farm Girl Memories. It's just about memories growing up on the farm and how you are supposed to learn early on that death is a part of life and it's necessary. And sometimes when you don't want to say goodbye, you have to. And but it's also a very, very rewarding life. I've come to love the simplicity of this life and the quietness of the country and the country air at night and watching the stars. And so my story is growing up that way, and how I hope to make an impact to help others around me and better the environment.
Oh, wow. That is incredible. Our listeners will be excited to read about that story because I love about this how rewarding and the simplicity of being out in the country and looking up and seeing the stars at night. And I can relate to all of that, being a country girl and been there all my life. It is a very rewarding life, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel that this story that you're sharing, and you've kind of said it in some ways, but how has it really impacted your life?
It's impacted my life a lot as far as being able to see a cleaner environment around me and trying to help keep it clean and everything, help keep the animals well fed and clean and happy is very rewarding. And I love that feeling at the end of the day, as there are obviously more work to be done than there are hours in the day, but I love that feeling at the end of the day of how you can know that you've helped someone that way. And I truly have been impacted. I feel like Jesus has put me in this life to, and what I do and everything, to love it and to learn to enjoy it and grow with it and everything, and with the animals that you see literally born, and help feed them and everything for the rest of their life.
Oh, that is incredible, very beautiful, because I can relate with you too. I always say God knows the ones that know how to take care of the animals, and that's why he's entrusted you with those animals, with his animals to take care of, because he knows you'll take care of them. And the feeling at the end of the day that you have fed them and gave them the best care that you possibly can. And, oh, that is a beautiful feeling. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is so fulfilling.
Yes, it is a very fulfilling life. I can totally relate, because I feel the same way. At the end of the day, I'm like, oh, what a rewarding feeling. The animals are all so loving to you that you have taken care of them. I love that. Well, yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of the animals that you have on your farm, or that you have had on your farm. Tell us about some of the animals that have been in your life.
Okay. One I can think of right off is about a lamb that I wrote about in my story. It was a really cold February morning, and my grandpa found him in our barn, frozen to the ground, and his mom had neglected him, and that's what we mean by bummer lamb. And so we took him in, and some warm colostrum from our cows was able to help kind of revive him. So we named him Lazarus, and Lassie for short. And we took him in our house for a few weeks, and he kind of grew up around us and everything. And our German shepherds just kind of took them in as their own, and it was so cool to watch them interact together and just live that life together. And it was really cool. He was running around the house, and we put diapers on him, and he wouldn't always stay on, so I would have to sometimes run and clean up a mess. But I loved it, every aspect of it. And we started calling our lazy boy recliner Lassie Boy, because he loved the recliner. He literally thought he was a human. And we would go put him in what we call his bedroom at night, which is the laundry room, and he would scream at me. He was so mad being put up for the night. And my room was next door, and it was kind of loud, but it just, that joy and that sound of life is just, I love that so much. It's so rewarding, and to know that you've helped every aspect of that, raise that animal and everything. And unfortunately, a few weeks later, we had to put him back with the flock of sheep, and he didn't do so well. He really missed us a lot. We would go feed him his noon bottles over there every day from our house, and he would just stand at the gate and cry and just was not happy. He never blended in very well, and it was kind of sad to see him go through that. And it kind of started to become a feeling like he was literally our baby, and we were kind of his parents. And so it was hard to see that, but at the same time, I was, I knew it had to be done. And I think the lesson you could learn from that is, just learning to grow up and let go of things, and say goodbye when you don't want to. And unfortunately, a few weeks after that, God found him. He was gone, and it was on a Sunday morning. It was really, really cloudy and just cold outside, and it was kind of a dark day, but we were all able to gather around to grave and bury him in our little animal cemetery on our 2 acres outside of our house. And he's still back there. Sometimes we'll go visit him, and we'll talk to him, and we love talking to our animals even when they're gone. We believe that's important, and that communication is very important. And so that was just kind of a lesson to me, to learn that early on, when you get attached to something, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be forever, and you have to learn that lesson on a farm, that life, it is life, but death is also a part of life, and it is important early on to learn that just that reward of life. And at the same time, I believe there's rewards, after life as well, because I believe he went to be with Jesus, and I have peace in that. And so that's just the stories in my story, and kind of a good lesson that I've learned in that. And actually, one of our German Shepherds that used to run with him ended up getting hip dysplasia, which is kind of a common thing with the breed of German Shepherd. And he would drag himself trying to get to us. He loved us so much and loved being with us. So we ended up getting him a wheelchair. And he got really good with it. He loved doing Little Willie. It was kind of cool to watch. And he loved life and being with us. He was such a happy dog. He was just amazing. One of the best dogs I think we've ever had. And he was Lazzie's friend. And so yeah, it's kind of hard to think about now, but it was another good lesson. We ended up losing him like a year after we got the wheelchair, but we just so enjoyed that extra life that we helped put into him by getting him that wheelchair. And just, it was almost literally like when we helped, the first time we helped get him into it, he literally looked like he had a smile on his face. And that was just so cool to watch and to see. And he loved our grandma too. And I remember the first time he was in his wheelchair, grandma lives next door from us, and she came over to see him, and he went out there to her on the wheelchair, and she just loved going to see him, and he came running to her, and it was so sweet. I was even then trying not to cry. It was so sweet. And so yeah, the life, life is beautiful and everything. And then I believe, and even though it's hard, that death can be beautiful in a way too, as far as knowing where they're going, and there's the comfort of knowing that they're not suffering anymore, and that comfort of knowing that you helped them live that life as long as you could.
Oh wow, Abby, what a story on both of them. That is just beautiful, and how true what you're saying. Because I mean, now the German Shepherd and the little lamb are now running together and playing again like they once did, and how you gave them a good quality life while they were here, just like with the German Shepherd giving him the wheelchair so that he could get around. And oh wow, and these animals, when you were talking about how the German Shepherds took the lamb in, they love unconditionally, and they show that all the way around. And that is something to me that is, we, us humans, can learn a lot of lessons from that, because they love unconditionally, whether it's one of them or whether it's a different kind of animal, and they love us unconditionally. They show that love, and that is just beautiful. And what an impact those two have made on your life, and their spirits, like you said, you go visit them at their cemetery, but their spirits are always with you. They live in your heart is where they're at. Yeah. And that, oh, how just beautiful, Abby. That was just incredible. Well, Abby, this has just been so much fun chatting with you. What is a tip that you would like to leave with our listeners today about how, because you've left so much information and so many beautiful thoughts, but what is one final tip you would like to leave with them today about living with animals?
I would say probably just learn to love life, and like I was saying, and death, and live life to the fullest. If you live life in fear, that's not a fulfilling life. But if you live life to the fullest and just allow things to work out, and I do believe that things will work out as long as you surrender them to, to Jesus and everything, and that life is so fulfilling. And so if you live that life and surrender to the Lord, that is going to be very fulfilling. And that's just, I think that would be the tip I would leave, is to live life to the fullest.
Oh, that is a beautiful tip. I love that. Love life and live it to the fullest. Oh, how true. And that's what you did. That's what you do with your animals. You let them have the fullest life possible. Oh, Abby, this was just beautiful. Just beautiful. I am just very, very thrilled that I have the honor to be able to interview you on Robust Lifestyles and let you share about your animals. Thank you so much, Abby.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
Oh, you are so very welcome. You are very welcome, Abby. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this absolutely incredible guest, Abby Stempert. And she has her story in Diva's upcoming animal book that is going to be released here very soon, called Animal Prints on My Soul. So you will be sure and want to get a copy of that so you can read her story along with other beautiful animal stories that are in this book. And I want to thank each of you today. And remember to share this show with your family and friends, and check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Have a fantastic day, and as Abby said, love life, live it to the fullest, and be kind to all. Give your animals a great big extra hug and share your love with them. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.